Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. As always, we're going to take a look at the Cardano price moves that have been happening, also Bitcoin. And before we start, I want to take a look at the stock to flow model because people are now talking about, what is happening in September. From the 1st of September, there's a drop every year. And to be honest, looking back at the Bitcoin prices in the last 4 to 5 years, pretty much every September there has been a drop. And I've been talking about that in other videos already. The thing is, for me, it's always like, when it's happening every year and people expect it, it could happen that it actually doesn't happen. So it's not certain, in my opinion, that this drop will happen. However, it obviously can happen. But that still doesn't mean that the bull run is over. So I always refer back to the stock to flow model. So for me, I'm always really, for me, it has predicted everything so well over the years. And I certainly expect us to get at least to the 80K this year for Bitcoin, which would have a great effect, hopefully, for ADA as well. So that's just as a starting note, really. So nobody really knows if there will be a drop in September and if there will be a drop for Cardano and for Bitcoin. For me, that bull run isn't over yet, at least not from what I can see now. I still believe in the stock to flow model until really it gets invalidated. But even if we should, even if we don't get to the 82K this year, for me this model still works until at some point we have such a big offset that it just is not valid anymore. But for me it's pretty precise, pretty impressive what it has predicted over the years. So let's just take a look at Bitcoin first. Just wanted to take a look at the last September, really, because in September 2020, really, it started really to drop on the 1st of September, or at least on the 2nd of September, that we had the first red candle here. And what is quite striking, though, and I must admit, is that end of July, like this year, on pretty much on the 21st of July last year, we started to see that increase. So we started to see that uptrend, and we really had that massive pump here. I mean, those prices were different back then, but still, we had quite impressive gains in July, August last year, and and then in September it all dropped again. But I mean, you all know what happened after that, right? So there was a bit of a little bit of patience required throughout September and October, and then in November or end of October we really started pumping. That's certainly a scenario that could happen this year as well. The thing is always just looking back a year and seeing the same things happen. Does it mean it needs to happen this year as well? I'm not sure. Nobody can guarantee it, but it's certainly something I wanted to point out to you guys. Nobody knows, but it's certainly interesting. But people have been talking about that already. Now, where are we now? Looking here on the daily, I'd rather look on the 4-hour chart. So I mentioned in previous videos we are struggling to make new highs here. We are losing momentum. I talked about the RSI before, and for me, if we don't really break above this triangle now, and if we don't really get back into this channel again, it seems to me that the market could then roll over. However, we're still above the 200-day moving average, which is a good sign. You remember back here we had a period where we really were battling around. Buyers and sellers were really battling around this moving average. Technically, we're still in an uptrend because we're above all the main moving averages. Now let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, where it becomes quite clear where we are now. Put that triangle on here this morning, or was it yesterday? I can't remember, but we are certainly still in that formation here. We're trading within it. I'm curious what will happen if we are going to break out. At the moment, we are at this lower support level of this triangle, which in my opinion is still part of that bull flag or bullish pattern, trend continuation pattern. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, so nobody can really predict what's going to happen, especially as we have lost some momentum. But for me, if we break out, we should be above the 49K. Yeah, so you can observe that yourself, 49K, then I want to see a retest here and then us going up. However, lower support level is at the moment like 47,500. We are very close to that. And honestly, should we break down, where are we then? We've got some, I think we could actually drop to like 42,000 or something. I mean, we've got, at least here with 45K, we've got on the 4-hour chart the 200-day moving average, and that is the 4-hour one. But on the daily, where is the moving average? I think the first line of support would maybe here be the 46K, the 200-day moving average on the daily. below that, we've got 44,000 is the 50-day moving, the 20-day moving average on the daily, and then we've got 41,000 is the 50-day moving average. So hopefully, I mean, if we drop really below like 40k, you know, then we'll break down, and then we'll be below all these moving averages, and then that might be the beginning of a downtrend, which doesn't mean we enter the bear market, but it might be a downtrend. I mean, we dropped before in September's like 30%, so it's nothing. Even if we drop like 30% now, when we get to like 35,000, I did say that in a video before, I think, that we could really get there if we take a look at what happened before, even like in a September before a bull market, or yeah, I think that was the last bull market, September. We dropped like 30% in a September. So this is nothing, even if it happens, it's nothing too unusual, to be honest. So it's just, we need to be prepared for that. It's not that I want that, but we need to be prepared for that. And here on the day, on the 1 hour chart for Bitcoin, we can see as well, we are on this lower support level there, bounced off the lower boundary of these Bollinger Bands here. So I want us to move up again, and maybe we will stay in this triangle today between 49k and, well, 47 and a half and 49k. Yeah, so, and then later, sort of, you know, in 5, 6, 7 hours, we might see us breaking out. The breakout can always happen before. We actually tried to break out here, but failed really, dropped, bounced off the upper ends of the Bollinger Bands, snapped back in. That led us all the way down, and maybe we'll bounce off again here from this lower support level of the triangle. So yeah, a lot of uncertainty in the market still. In my opinion, still, we are still in a trend continuation pattern. So should really, if that plays out, we should really see that move to the upside, but it's not guaranteed. That we have seen us not making higher highs. However, again, if that is really part of that bullish flag here, then yeah, of course we didn't make new higher highs because we are still in a bull flag. Okay, so you can see that bigger pattern, these bigger waves. So that's how they play out, and then we shouldn't wait much longer. Then we should see another move to the upside. But again, not guaranteed, just how it could play out. And for me, 49k is here definitely a level that we need to get through, retest that level, and then we should be good to move up again. For Cardano, where are we now? Cardano, I want to take a look at the hourly chart, because we, again, very similarly, we are actually in a very similar pattern like Bitcoin at the moment. I need to make that a bit larger. And we seem to be breaking out, need to zoom out a little bit, seem to be breaking out at the moment to the downside of this triangle, in which we have as well been trading now. Well, we've seen a lot of resistance up here. Again, we bounced towards these hourly Bollinger Bands here. We moved out, we snapped back in. However, still a sort of downward movement, and now we're getting closer to the apex. And I said this morning, at some point, you know, today, probably afternoon UK time, so the next few hours, we will see a breakout. And that could go either way, guys. That could go either way. I mean, to be honest, for me, again, very similar pattern that Bitcoin is doing at the moment. For me, that could all still be part of that bull flag, even though we attempted a breakout here. Now we are trading in this triangle. Again, now we're at the lower end of the Bollinger Bands. This morning we were at in the upper half, so sort of more bullish. Now we're sort of more bearish on a smaller time. You know, it's only the hourly, so not too significant. So we need to see, however, the buyers just stepping in again. So we can see that the lower support, it really touched this lower shadow here of the candle now has touched the lower end of the Bollinger Bands, but we bounced back in. So the buyers are still there. People still want to see Cardano over $3, and I'd like to. But let's be honest, if Bitcoin really drops like 30% in September, then Cardano will follow. There's honestly, I mean, there's a slight chance that Cardano will decouple itself from Bitcoin, especially because of what's coming on the 12th. But there's no guarantee. So it's really exciting to see that happening, us moving into that triangle formation, into the apex. Can't wait to see what's happening. The thing is, again, for a long-term holder, I know a lot of you guys are long-term holders as well. For me, it's like good, actually. If the price drops, I can buy more ADA, because I'm not really, for 280, I think at the moment, Not too sure. I need to wait for more money to come in before investing further. I do dollar cost averaging, you know that. So either way, I'm happy. Going up, my portfolio will go up in value. Going down, I can accumulate more ADA. And I think we could really go down to the next level of support here, the main level. I think from what was resistance before or support is 255. In that zone really here. There's quite a few support and resistance levels between 245 and 255. That's for me like a main level. And yeah, let's see where we are, guys. Let's see where we are. Hopefully we should move into that apex and then should see a breakout very soon. I think a breakout is imminent. I can't really tell you which way. I still sort of hope we go up, but it all depends on Bitcoin as well. As I just said, Bitcoin will make a breakout very soon. Yeah, we are certainly, in my opinion, we are still in that bullish formation here, and we had the very similar formation before. And if we go down here, we can clearly see that was a very similar formation where we moved to the upper end of the Bollinger Bands, moved down, couldn't make a new high, moved down, nearly bounced off the lower end of the Bollinger Bands, snapped back up, didn't make a new high, still small consolidation, and then we moved up. So we compare that to where we are now, very similar. Touched the upper end of the Bollinger Bands, moved down, couldn't make a new high. It's really at the tipping point now. So honestly, nobody knows what's happening. We need to wait for that signal, which otherwise, if you wanted to start a trade, like a long position, you know, that would be speculation. I don't really want to give any signals because I am doing dollar cost averaging. But for me, you know, if I was trading, I would wait until a breakout happens here and maybe a retest, you know, at like 283. But that is a movie, you need to be aware. This is a diagonal support and a diagonal resistance level. So these are changing. But if we see us breaking out above 284 and then retest that level and successfully we see the candles, that for me would be a continuation that we can go up at least to this level 290 again. And yeah, if we drop down here, then that would be a short position, which I would never do with Cardano. Not in an uptrend. I wouldn't short in an uptrend, and we are clearly in an uptrend. We are above all the moving averages. So yeah, I wouldn't do any shorting here. Right. So that's just my view. Let me know what you think. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.